What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and let's check out this Leason LS 216. This thing inverts, and it does 4 flips. Now I am actually going to compare this to the Free Loop by UDI. Did want to show you guys that you actually can fly this thing with an LS124 transmitter. So comparing this to the Free Loop, it looks similar, but the hind legs are longer, the back arms are longer. It does half flips, but when it does the half flips, they're more like the Blade Nano QX in the way it flips. It just turns over, sort of like falls into the flip, whereas the Free Loop does a upward looping flip, which is where it gets its name. They're both pretty fast. This one seems to handle the weight a little more better than the Free Loop. However, this one here is a little heavier than the Free Loop, it seems. I haven't officially weighed them. I guess by the time you guys see this, I would have officially weighed it. And as you can see, this thing flies backwards. Now what happens is, when you flip this, usually when you flip these aircraft forward or backward, you have to fly nose in. Well, this one, they went a step further for beginners, I guess, and made it so if you flip and your nose in, you don't have to worry about that, because the rear becomes the front actually. So you can see him flying this thing backwards, doing somewhat of a funnel with it. Now, in order for me to get the controls back normal again, I have to invert it, flip it towards me again, forward or backwards flip. Also, this thing kills batteries compared to the the Free Loop. So we're gonna land this. I have another battery because I expected this to happen. If I can get it landed. Well, actually I'll fly it around like this for a little while. I just can't flip it, but actually the LVC warning is a bit premature, I think, because you still can fly this thing for quite some time once the LVC kicks in, but you just can't flip it, which is the bad thing about it. So I'm gonna fly this thing backwards a little bit. Was thinking about a speed run, but these cars are pretty busy moving in this lot behind me. Let's try to get a speed run backwards, a backward speed run. I'm actually not kicking the throttle all the way up, just because I know it's in LVC. Let me get it landed so we can see some more flips. Oh yeah, the battery after a flight, the battery and the motors are scorching on this thing. Get another battery in here. By the way, it does take these Hubsan X4 type 500 milliamp hour batteries, which are larger than the stock batteries. So, but this thing kills them just as fast. You want to get that plugged in there. Get it back in the air again. Oh, and also there's no way to switch the rates, so you're stuck in this one rate. I don't have the manual. The manual didn't come with mine. I think mine was played with by the people at the the warehouse, and they probably lost my manual and lost one of my rare LED covers. But as you can see, it's still pretty good lighting without the lens cover in the back. I just removed the other one as well. So let's flip it again. Okay, I flipped it. Now I should be having to worry about flying nose in. However, it switches the controls around, so the rear is the front now. So you can still fly it as normal. I think they did that for beginners. So now to get it back to normal, let's do a whole, this thing does whole flips. In either position it does whole flips. So now we have the front back again. And this thing killed the battery again. Well, it's in LVC. I don't know if mine is a defective version, but mine goes into LVC very quickly when doing flips. And then you have a long LVC warning with it. So I'm not sure if all of them are like this. I hope mine's is just defective, because this is a pretty nice flyer. And see, now I can't invert. The yaw rate on this one is a lot slower than the free loop. The free loop, you can actually do funnels with it. This, actually, when it's flying backwards, it seems like the yaw is a little faster. That's a little weird. This thing is really fast though, just like the free loop is. But the free loop tends to dip down more. I think the pitch on the free loop is more deep, and the free loop with that auto piloting thing, auto positioning, it makes it a little unnatural when you're flying, it seems. This thing flies a little more natural, but just this early LVC warning thing is what bugs me the most about it. There are a few other things, minor things, like the yaw rate is really slow and no way to switch into high rates or anything, just this one rate. The pitch is okay, I guess, but I would like a little more pitch. I guess that's enough. I've pretty much demonstrated everything that this thing can do. So let's check out the free loop now. See if I'm going to land this. There we go. The LS216 by Leason. Okay, we're back out here with the UDI free loop. U27. This thing down. We're going to start off in mid rates. Got a car coming behind me. Let's let this car go in. And let's check it out. So the free loop has a unique sound. Not really quiet, a little quiet it seems now, but it's not really quiet usually. The flips look totally cool like that. This thing flips awesome. Let's flip it up against this white background here. See, now in the free loop, it has this auto piloting or auto positioning thing, and it seems like it's doing some of the flying for you. Mainly when once you do a flip, it seems to go into some auto piloting thing. I guess because of the way it flips. It might get a little squirrely sometimes. But that's why I was saying that the Leason LS216 seems to handle a little better, a little easier, I think. Now this one only does half flips. It doesn't do any full flips like the other one. The 216 actually does full flips. This just does the looping half flips. Pretty awesome though. See, now I was giving full right input there, and the autopiloting just wouldn't let it go. Sometimes it does that after the flipping. Okay, I just put it in high rates. Okay, this is my side flying. And watch once I do a flip. Okay, I'm giving it. See, it wants to go to the left faster than it goes to the right. But that's just a minor thing. This thing is awesome. I really like the way this thing flies, how it flips. It's fast. If you hold down in one direction for a while, the pitch seems to gradually go into full input, and sometimes that happens with this. I think that's the autopiloting though. Sometimes it just wants to give itself the amount of throttle that it wants to give, and though it might not be enough. So when you're increasing the throttle, sometimes the throttle doesn't want to increase because of that auto positioning thing or whatever, and it'll just go to the ground. The best solution for that though, if you see it going down, is to flip, because usually it gives itself more throttle once you flip. So that'll stop it from going down. For any of you guys who have this aircraft and the same thing happens to you, just do a flip and you'll be able to regain control of the throttle. Sometimes it does that when it's upside down. There's a bug out here attacking me. Maybe he's trying to avenge the death of that bug that I killed the other day. Anyway, see, like that. Sometimes this thing, it'll just start descending, and you can't do much about it when it's descending except to flip it. Also, I want to show you guys this. Let me land it. I'm going to land it on its props. I don't recommend doing this because it does mess up your props, tear them up pretty bad, but I've done it countless times. Actually, the LS216 does this as well. It'll take off from the props. So just for you guys who were wondering if it can take off from the props, it can. Both of them actually. And see there, I think it's a low battery though actually now. Yeah, see, because it won't rise up any higher. I did bring an extra battery for this one as well. Wanted to run 2 batteries on these things. This one, I pretty much showed you guys all that it can do, because it just does half flips. This one doesn't do any full flips. So I did want to get some speed runs in, a quick speed run, or just some flybys at least with it. So let me plug this new battery in. We're going to get a couple of flybys and then we're out. Here we go. Let's get some fast flying. We're in mid rates, should be. So you can see this thing is pretty fast too. When you're holding down on the input, it tends to increase the pitch gradually. I flipped it while I was moving fast, and the auto piloting or auto positioning just took over and slowed it down and got it under control. Looked like I was about to crash into that tree. But this is a pretty awesome aircraft. As you can see, the yaw rate is pretty slow, but it seems to be more consistent and better than the yaw rate on the LS216. The Leason, I think they're calling it. I don't know what that is, but have to look that up and see what that word means. Oh. Okay, so now let me show you guys about this. When you can press the right stick in and do flips on this, or you can hit the right shoulder buttons to flip to either side. Now when you press the right stick in, that's the only way that you can do a forward or backwards flip. Now on this one, when you invert that way, you have to worry about flying nose in, because then the head is facing you after that. And the controls on this one don't switch. They actually switch to normal. They stay normal. So the front always, the front is always the front on this one. Whereas the other one, when you flip it and your nose in, the front automatically becomes the back. So it seems a little weird if you're used to flying this one nose in, but if you're a beginner and you didn't fly this one yet, then the other one would seem like it's perfect, because you don't ever have to worry about the confusion of flying nose in. So I guess that's all there is to show about this one. Let's do a couple flips. I think this one looks a little more cool when it's flipping over. What do you guys think? I think the flipping on this is killing the battery. But the battery on this lasts a lot longer than the battery on the LS216. You see, I've been flying and flipping this thing for a while. You get a bunch of flipping in with this. But the LS216, after about 5 flips, it seems like that's the limit. Around 5 flips and the lights are flashing and you can't flip anymore. That bug came back again. Well, I think I've demonstrated enough with this in comparison with the other one. The downside to both of these, in my opinion, is its slow yaw rate as compared to the Blade Nano QX3D. The Blade Nano QX3D flies like a normal aircraft, like a normal multi-rotor, very well, might I add. Let me try to get this thing landed. Oh, can't do it in this descending. I can't stop it. So what I was saying about the Blade Nano QX3D, it flies like a normal aircraft and it flies pretty well. The yaw rate is pretty fast. It flips really nice. It's got a lot of advantages over these aircraft, but it costs a lot more. But these things are pretty awesome. They do inverted flight. This one looks really cool when it's flipping. Yeah, the UDI U27 free loop. Thanks for watching.